Well, good afternoon, boys and girls. It's Mr. Fountain, your music teacher, and I am here once again with another lesson. The lesson today is going to be about pitch. Pitch is the highness and the lowness of sound. So when you hear those are low sounds, but when you hear this, those are high sounds. And that's exactly what pitch is, the highness and the lowness of sound. But now, don't make a mistake about it. There's some pitches in the middle that are very important as well. And if you were just curious, I was on my mini piano there, making my music. But it's very important that we understand and that we're able to tell the difference between high sounds and low sounds. And these high sounds and low sounds, boys and girls, what do we call them? Pitch. Let me write the word for you. P-I-T-C-H. And that's just like what a baseball player does. He pitches the ball. All right. Now, what about sound? What is sound? Ticking of a clock, the ringing of a bell, people talking. These are all sounds. But my definition of sound, boys and girls, for us today is anything you can hear is a sound. Did you catch that? But anything you can hear is a sound. Let's write our word on the board. S-O-U-N-D. Sound. Anything you can hear is a sound. Well, we know what pitch sounds like. Again, that's in the middle. Those are high sounds. Those are low sounds. We know what pitch sounds like. But what does pitch look like? That's an interesting question, isn't it? What does pitch look like? All right. Well, let's talk about that. Pitch, boys and girls, the way we see pitch on the printed page is we have to look at a graph. And a graph will tell us whether a sound is high or whether a sound is low. And what we'll do is we'll draw this graph on the board. This graph, boys and girls, is called a staff. A staff has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines. These 5 lines, boys and girls, is called a staff. Let's number them from the bottom to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines, 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a staff. How do you spell staff? S-T-A-F-F. Staff, I'll write it over here too. STAFF. Staff. Okay, so a staff, boys and girls, 5 lines and 4 spaces on which music is written. Now, did you know that there's a staff on your body? It is. Hold your hand like this. Look at there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines and what? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 spaces. That's a staff. So you can remember your staff by keeping it right there, handy. Keep your staff handy. I thought that was pretty good too. So anyway, but how do you know whether a pitch is high or low based on the staff? That's a good question. I'm so glad you asked. Check this out. Now, when you draw a staff right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you draw a staff on the board, if you put a note down here on the low end of the staff, the pitch is going to be low. When you put a note up here, that note's going to be high. And it doesn't matter what the rhythm is. It doesn't matter what the rhythm, how long you hold the note, but it's absolutely the location of the note on this graph, which we call a staff, which tells us how high or how low a pitch is on the staff. You with me? All right, very good. So now, what I want you to do is to draw a staff and number it. So how do you do that? First, you put your 5 lines, not too far apart, on your paper. You don't have no paper, go get some. Just like that. Then you number it from the bottom to the top. Line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, and line 5. Got it? Then put your spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you have your 5 lines and your 4 spaces, and that's the staff. That's where you write your music. And you know whether a pitch is high or low based on where it's located on the staff. Make sense? I think so. All right. Another thing I want to talk to you about. Let's come over here and let's clean the board. Bam. That was cool. Did y'all see that? There's something else I want to talk to you about. There's a symbol in music that represents high sounds. That symbol, boys and girls, is called a treble clef. Can you say treble clef? Good. I'm going to write it on the board. T-R-E-B-L-E. Treble. C-L-E-F. Treble clef. Treble clef looks like this. Bam. Boop. Treble clef. But now the best way to draw a treble clef, boys and girls, is on the staff. You want to draw your staff first. 3, 4, 5. You want to draw a straight line, a little bit above and a little bit below. You want to go to the top, come down to the 4th line, swing out, hit that bottom line, curl up on that 3rd line, and then tighten it up on that 2nd line. Bam. That's a treble clef. Wow, I did it too fast. I'll do it again. straight line. Takes practice now. Start at the top, come down to the fourth line. Come out, hit the first line, come up, hit the third line, and then curl up. On that second line, put a tail on it. That's a treble clef, boys and girls. It represents high sounds. I know if you're in the 5th grade or 4th grade or 3rd grade, you've seen these all over the place. They're all over in my room. And that represents high sounds. Got it? Okay. So now let's talk about what we've talked about today so far. We've talked about pitch, which is the highness and the lowness of sound. We've talked about sound. And what is sound? Right. Anything you can hear is a sound. Very good. Now, what is the symbol that represents high sounds? Treble clef. Very good. You got it. So if you leave here and you are able to talk about pitch, sound, and the treble clef, you have learned our lesson. Y'all are so smart. I'm so glad to be able to share this time with you. I'm going to leave you now with that. Next week when I talk to you, we're going to actually locate pitch or different levels of pitch on the staff. Got it? Wonderful. This is Mr. Fountain, your music teacher. Mona.